The $2 million fire, the dark paradox of Pablo Escobar's wealth. Imagine you are the wealthiest person on the planet. Your fortune is so vast that it is literally impossible to count. But right now, at this very second, you are freezing. You are hiding in a derelict mountain cabin, surrounded by darkness and the howling wind of the Colombian Andes. You have bags filled with millions in cash, but there is no heater, no electricity, and no wood. In 1989, Pablo Escobar, the king of cocaine, faced this exact reality. As his young daughter Manuela began to suffer from the early stages of hypothermia, Escobar did the unthinkable. He didn't spend the money, he used it as fuel. That night, he fed approximately $2 million in crisp $100 bills into the flames to keep his family warm and cook a simple meal. Why does a man with a $25 billion empire end up burning his fortune just to survive the night? Today, we go beyond the myths to explore the desperate final years of the world's most dangerous fugitive, and the night wealth became worthless. To understand why burning $2 million was a minor expense for Escobar, we have to look at the numbers. At the height of the Medellin Cartel's power, Escobar was bringing in an estimated $420 million every single week. His wealth was so physical and so overwhelming that it became a logistical nightmare. He owned 141 homes, a private zoo, and a fleet of planes, but most of his money was kept in cash. He spent $2,500 every month just on rubber bands to hold the stacks of bills together. But here's the paradox. Wealth of this magnitude is a heavy burden. Escobar lost about $2 billion every year, roughly 10% of his hidden cash, to rats who ate the bills or moisture that rotted them in underground pits. To him, money was no longer a currency, it was a commodity, like coal or paper. The $2 million he burned that night represented only a few hours of his peak earnings. By the late 1980s, the Robin Hood of Medellin was the most hunted man on earth. The Colombian elite unit, known as the Search Block, backed by international agencies, had squeezed his world down to a few square miles of rugged terrain. Escobar's strategy for survival was omnipresence through movement. He never stayed in one place for more than 48 hours. He moved his family from one safe house to another, often living in conditions that were a far cry from the luxury of his famous estates. In these mountain hideouts, his billions were useless. He couldn't go to a store, he couldn't call for help without being traced. He was surrounded by millions of dollars, yet he was starving and cold. This is the ultimate irony of the criminal life. You can have all the money in the world, but if you cannot step into the light to spend it, you are poorer than a beggar. According to his son, Juan Pablo Escobar, the decision to burn the money was instantaneous. A father's instinct overrode the drug lord's greed. But the $2 million fire carries a deeper symbolic meaning. It marked the moment the Escobar empire began to turn to ash. The fire was a literal transformation of power into heat, a desperate short-term solution for a man who had run out of long-term options. It showed the world that the king was cornered. The money that had once bought judges, politicians, and police officers was now only good for one thing: keeping the cold at bay for a few more hours. Pablo Escobar was eventually killed in 1993 on a humble rooftop in Medellin. He died with $0 in his pocket, despite having billions buried across the country, much of which remains lost or rotted today. The story of the $2 million campfire is more than just a piece of trivia. It is a profound lesson on the nature of value. We spend our lives chasing wealth, believing it is the ultimate shield. But in the darkest, coldest moments of life, the things that truly matter, warmth, family, and peace, cannot be bought. They can only be protected. What would you have done if you were in his shoes? Would you burn a fortune to save your family or wait for the sun to rise? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching Why. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the shadows of history, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay curious.